hosts Sarthak, Shoria and Sane. You are our hardcore fans and this is our Sports Hardcore Football Fantasy Friday. Hello Sarthak, hello Sane, very good to see you and I'm very excited for this week of fixtures because we have some tasty fixtures in the Premier League, Champions League and some pretty decent fixtures in the Europa League as well. So let's get into the tasty action.
But before we get into the action, just a roundup of last week's action. Last week, I racked up 13 points out of a possible 51. Sarthak racked up a possible 7 points. And Shura racked up 9 points. Which leads me at the top at 13. Sarthak last at 7th with 7 points. And Shoria second with 9 points.
Yeah, so this week can change everything because I must say I've made a few controversial predictions that which could go either right or wrong. I made a bit of a risky decision. So we are going to get into the action and state our predictions. So let's get into the big games.
Okay, let's get into the Premier League games first. The first game is Brighton versus Liverpool.
So Saturday, please go prediction.
I think that Liverpool will have an easy 3-1 victory here.
I think that the same Liverpool will win, but by a 2-0 win.
I think that Liverpool are going to thrash them, actually just like the last day of the 2017-18 season, with a 4-1 win.
Okay, second game is Man City versus Burnley.
I believe that Burnley are in decent form winning the last game, but I think Man City are too much. Man City will win 2-1.
I think that Man City will win 3-1.
I think that Manchester City will win 2-0.
So the next game is Everton versus Leeds.
I believe that Leeds are a good team and they will beat Everton 3-2.
I think that Everton will get a 1-0 win.
I think that Everton will get a 2-1 win in a pretty tasty game against two very, very competitive and very, very good sides.
Okay, next up is Southampton versus Man United.
Southampton 1-0 draw against Wolves last week. Man U beating West Brom with a retaken penalty. And I believe Southampton will beat Man U 3-1.
Okay, so quite controversial, and I think that Southampton will win as well, but by a 2-1 margin. By a 1 goal
I think that it'll be a goal first. Man United clawing back behind from 2-1 to make it a 3-2 win with at least one penalty from Fernandes.
Okay, next up is the tastiest game of this match day in the Premier League, probably Chelsea versus Tottenham.
What a game. Biggest game of the year probably. Two of the new title contenders, Chelsea and Spurs, go head to head at Stamford Bridge. And I think that Spurs will win 3-1.
I think with Spurs' good form right now, I think that Spurs will win 2-1.
I think that Spurs have had some brilliant form, but I'm a Chelsea fan at heart, and I believe that we could go 10 games unbeaten with this run if we extend the run. Edouard Mendy looks confident between the sticks. Timo Werner, Kai Havertz, Christian Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, you name it, they're up front blazing. I think that Chelsea will win the game 3-1. Slightly controversial, but there you go. That's my prediction.
Okay, let's move on to one of our last games. Arsenal versus Wolves.
Now, Arsenal not having a great game last week against Leeds, scraping out a 0-0 draw. Pepe with a stupid headbutt to Alioski. And I think that Wolves will win 1-0.
I think that it will be a goalless affair, a 0-0 draw.
I think that Wolves are a brilliant team, and I think that they deserve to beat Arsenal, and they will do that with a 2-1 victory.
Okay, so now let's move on to the final game of the match day in the Premier League. West Ham versus Villa.
West Ham beating Sheffield United with a wonderful Sebastian Haller strike. But I believe Villa will win 2-1.
Same here, just the same as Sunday. I think that Villa will win 2-1.
We'll make it a hat trick of the 2-1s to Villa for me. 2-1 to Villa is my prediction.
Now we move on to the Champions League games. First game, Shakhtar versus Madrid. Last time round, Shakhtar absolutely shocked Madrid, beating them 3-2. But I think that Madrid will draw 2-2 to Shakhtar.
I think that it will be a draw, but a 1-0 draw.
I think that Madrid have had, of course, a bit of a bad start with that Shakhtar lost in the Champions League group. However, they're gaining form. We saw that dominant performance against Inter. Eden Hazard finally getting another Real Madrid goal, be it from the Premier League spot, it doesn't matter. But I think that Madrid will snatch a 2-1 victory from the Ukrainian team.
Now moving on to Inter Milan versus Borussia Mönchengladbach of Germany. Inter not in great form, Gladbach in red-hot form. And I believe that Gladbach will win 2-1.
Inter are in bad form and they are last in the group, and if they want to go through, they do need to win both their matches. So I will be backing Inter, them getting a 1-0 win.
Inter, in my opinion, are not going to make it through to the Champions League knockout stages, the round of 16, because Gladbach will give them an absolute 3-0 drubbing, in my opinion.
Atletico Madrid versus the last year's Champions League winners, Bayern Munich. And I think that Atletico Madrid will not be able to stop Bayern Munich, and Bayern will win 3-2.
I think it will be a good game. Atletico will give a good fight, but they won't be able to stop Bayern, and Bayern will win 2-1.
I think that Sane's scoreline is correct, but the other way round. Atletico will beat Bayern in a very entertaining affair, 3-2, with Luis Suarez at least getting on the score sheet once.
Now we'll move on to Liverpool versus Ajax. Atlanta found out Liverpool in their last game, and I think that Ajax will do the same, 1-0 draw.
I think it will be another goalless affair, a 0-0 draw.
I think that Liverpool have been having a bit of bad form recently. Of course, not losing to Atalanta. They've been doing pretty decently in the Premier League with Diogo Jota, their new signing, on red-hot form, replacing Roberto Firmino. Of course, and then you have Mane and Salah. However, the injuries will be too costly at the back. Nico Williams and Reece Williams won't be able to do enough. Neither will Matip and Tsimikas. And Alisson in goal can't save this, because I think that Ajax will win 2-1 as they have a brilliant side.
Now we move on to another enticing game. Sevilla versus Chelsea. Last year's Europa League champions will win 2-1.
I feel that Europa League champions, they will win 3-2.
I think that will be a 3-3 draw and a very entertaining affair with many, like at least Timo Werner, in my opinion, will probably get on the score sheet once, maybe even twice.
Now we move on to another amazing game, Man U versus PSG. Last year, Man U versus PSG, 2-1 to PSG in a very enticing game. And I believe that PSG will draw 2-2 to Man United.
I think Man U are in good form, but Mbappe and Neymar will not be stopped by their defense, and PSG will win 2-1.
I think that I agree with Sane completely, as my prediction is a 2-2 draw. It's a pretty entertaining affair. Two brilliant teams going head-to-head in the Champions League. It'll be a pretty good game, 2-2.
Now we move on to Europa League football. Milan versus Celtic. Milan absolutely smashing the Serie A here, and Celtic doing absolutely dreadfully and have been knocked out of the tournament already. But I believe that Milan will win 3-1.
I think that AC Milan will come out with a dub, a 2-1 win.
I think that Milan, this should be a pretty easy game with the form they're in. Zlatan, I think, will get on the score sheet probably definitely once, maybe even twice, in a 4-0 absolute drubbing of Celtic. I'm sorry, 4-1 was my prediction. Sorry.
Yeah. Now we'll move on to Lask of Austria versus Spurs. Spurs will win 3-0 against Lask.
Spurs in red-hot form, and I think Spurs will win 2-0.
I think the Austrian side, Lask are a pretty good side, but as you saw against Man United last year in the knockout round, they did succumb to their brilliant attack. Spurs have a better attack than Man United. However, they won't win just as much. They will win 4-1. 4-1 to Tottenham Hotspur.
And now, last game of our predictions video. Nice of France versus Bayern Leverkusen. Bayern Leverkusen's attack has been drastically diminished by the departures of Havertz and Volland, but I still think that Leverkusen will have enough firepower to beat Nice 3-2.
I think Leverkusen will win once again, 2-1.
I believe that Leverkusen are a brilliant side, losing, of course, Havertz to Chelsea and Volland to Monaco. However, I think that, of course, like Sané and Southgate said, they have enough firepower to beat Nice, but I believe that they will beat OGC Nice 3-1.
That's the end of our prediction video. Hope you enjoyed. We will be back next week with our full table, and hopefully I'm back on top next week.
Yes, I hope that we and all of us do well. It's going to be very competitive. Of course, early stages. We've only just started the second week of fantasy football, but who knows? We're getting into the tasty fixtures near Christmas. So, thank you very much for watching, and peace out.